What's up, world? This is your boy Tommy Malv, and normally I leave well enough alone when I'm done talking about a topic, but what I saw today is just utter ridiculousness to the highest extent. And like I said, I usually just let the media talk because they're a bunch of dumbasses. 90% of them don't know jack shit about the sport they're covering, and most of them just listen to each other. But I had no idea, like, this runaway narrative of the Lakers, the Nets being a good team was just gonna run because they beat an undermanned Lakers team. People are like, well, they're 10-1. First of all, if I hear one more person use that bogus ass 10-1 stat, I'm gonna lose my shit. They are not 10-1 against five or teams above 500. Okay, stop saying that shit. Okay, 90% of those games, all three of them, when they played together, they don't play. It's such a lie. It's just they're good at what they do. They're good at every time they know they're gonna play a good team, one of them will sit out. So you're not actually watching them with their biggest problem. So I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit 10-1 stat they keep putting up. First and foremost, 5 of their wins in the 10-1 stats came before Harden ever got on the team. So that's another bullshit line that they use to push a narrative that is just not true. Okay? The 10-1 stat is a complete fabrication. It's just not fucking true. Half of those games they won before James Harden never even got on the team. Okay, and another two of those games they won when Kyrie didn't even play. So it's not to say that they don't have the talent to outscore anybody. Everybody on the planet know that they have the talent to outscore anybody. But to sit up here and push this bullshit narrative that they somehow overcome all their problems because they lost 2 games earlier. Listen to anybody with common sense. The Lakers had a bad shooting night. Terrible shooting. Not even bad. Terrible shooting night. They shot less than 20% from 3. Okay? It was a uncharacteristically bad shooting night, and it had nothing to do with the Nets. I am going to break down and clip by clip put up every single 3 that the Lakers missed. All of them. If you go back and look at the game in its entirety, every single one of the 3s that the Lakers missed, they were wide open. It wasn't a thing of the Nets defense doing shit. They were wide open. They just missed the 3. So the Lakers just had a bad shooting night. Even with that bad shooting night, they didn't beat them by 40. They beat them by 11. LeBron got whatever he wanted. And if I hear one more person say, they didn't have KD, but they didn't have AD. What? The Lakers have people that can slow down KD. Right? Especially if he's playing with Harden and Kyrie. The Nets have no one to slow down Anthony Davis. Not one. Nobody. You can't put KD on Anthony Davis. He will have him for lunch. You can't put DeAndre Jordan on AD because he will have him for lunch. He's too slow. So this narrative that AD and KD are canceled out. Not even to mention, you're talking about taking out Schroeder, who's one of the best two-way guards in the league. And you're going to take him out. First of all, when you take him out, you make it so that, one, there's another player that Kyrie Irving and James Harden can hide from. Okay? It's easy to do the pick and roll when you can just allow the guy to get the wide open 3. Yeah, your defense looks real good when people miss wide open 3s. It doesn't look as good when they're hitting those wide open 3s. So that's the difference. When people have bad shooting nights, they can win. If teams who most of the time don't have in a 7-game series, as I said before, it's very easy for you to play somebody once every 3 weeks, and when you play them, they can have a bad shooting night that one night. But it's harder to expect the people to have a bad shooting night for 7 games. It's just not gonna happen. It's so stupid and easy to analyze. And you're sitting there like, this is the same shit from last year. This is the same thing they were doing with the Lakers. It's the same thing they were doing with the Warriors. Remember when LeBron beat the Warriors? I kept saying the whole year, LeBron and them are a better team than the Warriors. The Warriors are playing. They play a style of basketball that not everybody can play along with, but the Cavaliers can. They won some close games and they jumped up 3-1 at the beginning of the series. But they won closely contended games. And then when the Cavaliers finally figured out what they do and how to, once LeBron figured out how to beat them, they couldn't win another game. Because LeBron is a better player in a 7-game series. That's when he's most pivotal, in a 7-game series. Not in and it happens every year. Kyrie Irving is a smug one, right? He's sitting up there smug, just like he was smug on the Celtics, just like Kyrie Irving is the most smug one who has never won anything in my life. This dude has gone to sit up there and try to act like finally I have some talent around me. Yeah, I guess Gordon Hayward, what's his name? The guy that's in the All-Star game, Tatum, I keep wanting to call him Watkins. But y'all know the Celtics tandems. Tatum and number 7. Shoot, Kemba Walker seemed to do pretty damn good with that team, right? But I guess they weren't talented enough for Kyrie, right? Like talent, he's always had talent around him. But now he's talking big shit because he thinks KD's with him. So he's like, oh, ain't nobody beating me and KD. Because he thinks KD and LeBron are a wash. But they're not. Okay? KD is not as big as LeBron. Okay? He can't guard the positions LeBron can guard. He can't make up for you like LeBron used to when you played on the Cavs. Okay? You're going to get your ass exposed. And you're talking a lot of junk. And you're going to have another mental breakdown. It's coming. He's going to have another mental breakdown as soon as they go to another 3 or 4 game win streak and the media scrutiny on him pumps back up. He's back in front of the limelight now because they're on a 3-game winning. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Now all of a sudden he's out in the front. But when they were when they fought, the same thing he did last year when the Brooklyn Nets went into that hole. What he did? Disappeared, bitching and crying when they start losing, hiding. But the minute they get in a little stroke, he's out in front. Now all of a sudden he's the head, he's the leader. Until they start losing. Then all of a sudden he's hiding. And that's exactly what he do. He is never somebody you want in a foxhole with you. I guarantee you KD knows that, and I guarantee you Harden knows that. Right? Ain't nobody respect somebody doing what Kyrie did. Right? First and foremost, you owe your fucking career to LeBron. Right? You would know you didn't have a shoe deal for LeBron. You didn't have nothing before LeBron. LeBron came in and took you from being a relative fucking De'Aaron Fox to one of the highest rated players in the league, right? If you didn't he was an unknown. I had to tell my brother about Kyrie when LeBron decided to go back to the Lakers. Nobody knew who he was. I was like, no, they got a kid over there for the Cavaliers. He's that boy good. I was like, his name Kyrie Irving. I was like, dude's a beast. He played for the Cavs. Dude, he's good. I was like, dude's good. He's good. Right? So people didn't know who he was. And if LeBron hadn't went to the Cavs, he would still be De'Aaron Fox. He would still be another dude putting up a bunch of points on a bad team, which he would have been Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox, freaking Brandon Ingram. That would have been Kyrie, right? LeBron came there, took him from being a nobody to a household name, and he prepared him by thinking he was Kobe Bryant. That's the thing that I don't understand, right? And I wasn't even really annoyed after the game. I was like, clearly people understand that this was a wash of a game. Like, you can't really rate I was annoyed because I was mad because I was like, I can't really see. My point can't be proven because they're not playing the Lakers. And they didn't. The Nets didn't even play a real game. They scored 106 points. They didn't even really play a good game. Kyrie played a horrible game. They just won. They didn't look impressive by any stretch of the imagination. If you think that you're gonna rely on TLC hitting 5 threes and Joe Harris hitting 7, I mean, come on, really? That's what we're relying on now? oh yeah, I think they put the league. I'm like, Chris Broussard really disappointed me when I heard him say it. Yeah, Chris Broussard is normally a very knowledgeable person, but I think that Clipper thing has him with animus towards Lakers fans because they went at him hard after he jumped on that, which was a complete bullshit argument. Chris Broussard always, the entire year, said he gave them a slight edge. He never outright said, oh, he always said it's possible for the Lakers to beat them and that the Clippers had problems. I don't know why they lumped Chris Broussard in there with all those other people who was championing it. But now you can tell he's taking it personal. And you can tell he's just, it's like he wants to see the Lakers lose so he can get back at all the Laker people who just keep throwing it in his face about the Clippers. Because as a knowledgeable basketball aficionado that he is, I know he probably does get annoyed because it's an easy mistake to make. The Clippers look good. But I think people always underestimate, as stupid as it sounds, I think people always underestimate LeBron, like dumbass Kyrie is doing right now. Every single, Harden thinks he's better than LeBron. They get in a 7-game series. He got in that 7-game series with the Lakers last year. He found out quick. Anthony Davis had a horrible series against the Rockets. LeBron gave their ass the business. Harden found out quick he was not LeBron. They always do that. Curry thought he was better than LeBron till they played. He found out quick, I'm not that dude. KD, early in his career, thought he was LeBron. He found out quick, I'm not that dude. They always find out. Kyrie Irving has just always been the person under LeBron's wing that nobody that was able to hide. But now you put yourself on LeBron's radar. That just never ends well for people. I have never seen anybody take a battle with LeBron and they come out the victor. They always come out looking stupid, getting trolled, and everything. And he has established himself thinking he's Kobe Bryant when he plays no defense, is a liar. Not only does he not play defense, he's a liability on the defensive end. The man is high. You watch the game. This guy is running on the other side of the ball, trying to get away from LeBron every time LeBron gets the ball on the offensive side. Yeah, he had a terrible game too. It's like, if I'm going to talk shit, I'm not going to have no game where I score, 17, 18 points on like 14, 15 shots. So come talk shit, and that's my stat line. He had like more turnovers than assists, but he walking like, well, we'll see them later on. I'm like, dude, be talking big shit for somebody that does nothing. He did shit in that game, but in his mind, he walking around, we'll see when they fully. Dude, you better hope the Lakers are not fully old, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You take one of those defensive guards that were covering up for the fact that you fucking suck as a defender, take Brown or Green, and you put them on a bench, which you're going to have to do because you're not putting Jeff Green on Anthony Davis, and you're damn sure not putting Brown on Anthony Davis. Their ass is going to get eaten alive. So you're going to have to put DeAndre Jordan in. So you have DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, and 3 liabilities. 4 if you count DeAndre Jordan. 4 liabilities and Kevin Durant. Who the hell is Joe Harris guarding? Nobody. Who the hell is Kyrie guarding? Nobody. Who the hell is Harden guarding? Nobody. Who the hell is DeAndre Jordan guarding? Nobody. You got Dennis Schroeder one-on-one with Kyrie Irving. That is fucking food. You got KCP one-on-one with Harden on the defensive side. That's fucking food. You got Anthony Davis one-on-one with DeAndre Jordan. Fucking food. Who do you want to put there? You can put Gasol on DeAndre Jordan, and that's food. Then you got to put Kevin Durant on Anthony Davis. Fucking food. He can't guard the post. He's a 3. So you look at this. You look at the stat line. What the fuck are y'all? What are you smoking, Kyrie? You do not want to see the Lakers fully staffed. You don't want to see the Sixers fully staffed. You don't want to see the Celtics fully staffed, because on both sides of the ball, they got y'all beat. Kemba Walker one-on-one with you is you are food. You saw he hit like a motherfucker last year because he knew. That's what he does. He talks shit and then he hides. And that's what Kyrie Irving has been known to do his entire career. Talk shit, then hide. And this is exactly what he did when they had to go to the Celtics. All of a sudden, he was hurt. He couldn't play against the Celtics. Kemba Walker gave their ass 60. You think he would have slowed Kemba Walker down? Hell no. They would been too busy hiding his ass on defense, right? So you putting him on one-on-one with Kemba Walker? I like that matchup. You putting Jaylen Brown one-on-one with Kevin Durant? I like Jaylen Brown's chances. Kevin Durant will slow him down, but he's not slowing down him and Jason Tatum. Tice, I'll take him in a matchup with DeAndre Jordan. And Harden, I don't give a damn who you put him on defense. I'll take him over the freaking janitor. That dude don't guard nobody who don't come to him. He ain't fighting through no picks, and he's not running anybody down. He is horrible. And this is what makes me so annoyed. They got the Suns on a back-to-back. Cool. They got the Clippers on a 5-day road trip. Right? That's why the regular season is so misleading. Because this shit happens every year. They always have this team that's got everybody scared until the playoffs start. And then they down 4-1 to Dallas, and everybody looking like, what the hell is this? I thought they were better than this. No, they weren't. They're playing teams that are not prepared for them. They're playing teams who are playing them on 1 day, 2-day notice with no practice. When you're playing, that's why the Rockets looked like they were going to be so good. Remember right before that COVID hit, and the Rockets went on that like 6-7 game win streak, and everybody was saying the small ball thing was the smartest idea in the world. Then they came back and played in the bubble and got their ass thrashed by the Lakers because they had no big man to cover AD. And they didn't even play well in that series. LeBron showed them they needed a big man. Because LeBron was pretty much penetrating anytime he fucking felt like it. And it's the same thing gonna happen to the Nets because he was doing it last night. They couldn't stop LeBron. They had to revolt everything on their defense to stop LeBron. If one more person would have been making shots, they would have lost that game. One more person. Kuzma was kind of having it going, but he's too much of he gets his points not in a way that stretches the court most of the time. But Kuzma didn't play a bad game. Everybody else played horribly, right? You know, I mean, they just weren't hitting shots they normally hit. But as I said before, that is the narrative. People want to believe bullshit. And if you give them a reason to believe bullshit, then they believe bullshit. But to sit up there and say, I was like, are they serious? The Nets put the NBA on notice. Have they shown that they can beat a big man yet? No. They've beaten a bunch of teams with undersized who spread you out and shoot the three. That plays right into their hands, and they usually outscore them. They don't beat them, they outscore them. So you look at they don't shut them down, they just outscore them. So you look at that dynamic. In a 7-game series, you are not going to outscore your opponent every single time. Especially when your way of outscoring your opponents is just relying on them to miss wide open shots. That is how they play. They basically they know they need all the rebound they get, so they get into the paint to try to get rebounds, and then they just let you shoot wide open threes. They go up under picks, letting people shoot threes. I'm sorry, that shit is not gonna work. And if you think it's gonna work, I got a bridge, and I've said this to him many times. This is the same shit I was yelling about the Clippers last year. The same shit I was yelling about the Warriors when the Cavs beat them in the NBA Finals before they got Kevin Durant and became basically an unstoppable team. I thought the Cavaliers could beat them with Kevin Durant, and they almost did. But, I mean, it went 4-2. But as I said before, there's a lot of people who want LeBron's throne. Kyrie is not even a fucking conversation, okay? Like, he, in his mind, there's an illusion that him and LeBron are 1A, 1B. He's not. You and LeBron aren't in the same fucking stratosphere. But you got KD. So, as I said when the season first started, Kyrie reminds me of that dumbass dude that thinks that they can fight because their brother can. So they jump people all the time, and then finally they fuck around and jump the wrong person, and he ended up whooping their brother ass. So then it ends up being them and the brother, them and the person that they shouldn't have started the fight with one-on-one, and he stomps both of them. That's the shit that Kyrie's about to run into, right? If you're Kevin Durant, the last thing you fucking want is LeBron James motivated to beat you. His eyes was locked on the Clippers. Kyrie's talking shit. Now his eyes are going to be locked on y'all. And when LeBron is locked in, he tends to dismantle teams. He does it. He's been doing it his entire career. He locked in on the Spurs, got that done. Locked in on the Celtics, got that done. Clippers, Clippers the last 2 games, they beat them. You know what I'm saying? It's like when he locks in, LeBron is not to be played with. And you just awoke the lion for no fucking reason. The guy didn't say anything to you. You started that fight. You started a fight Kevin Durant gonna have to end, and Kevin Durant ain't built to end it. He's not big enough to guard LeBron. LeBron is gonna beat that dude, gonna be in foul trouble by halftime. Cause LeBron and AD, they're gonna be feasting on his ass. Cause he's the only defensive presence they got when he's in. And that's why I keep telling people, we're not talking about when it's 2 of them. Because when it's 2 of them, you can put another defensive guard in and play small ball with Jeff Green and this small guard. You can do that when Kevin Durant is not in. Or when you have, or when you're playing a smaller team. But when you need a big man, you got to play DeAndre Jordan. And when you got to play DeAndre Jordan, that forces you to have to play KD and Kyrie and DeAndre Jordan at the same time. And that shit don't go well. Because that leaves 3 defensive liabilities on the floor in Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, and into a lesser extent, even in the post, all of them liabilities. Every last one of them is a liability unless they're right under and DeAndre Jordan can kind of pose a threat. But if that does not change, they're not beating, they're not sniffing the Lakers. They're not sniffing the Lakers, and they got Kyrie Irving was celebrating last night that they won the fucking Super Bowl. He beat LeBron James and Kyle Kuzma with Quinn Cook getting valuable minutes. And in his mind, he had silenced the doubters. That's who you rolling with. And you can see Kevin Durant was looking like, dude, like, chill. You can see Harden was looking like, dude, chill. Neither one of them, because you know the difference between the two? Harden and Kevin Durant know what it's fucking like to take on LeBron in a 7-game series. Kyrie Irving used to playing with LeBron on a 7-game series. Kevin Durant them do not want that fucking smoke. Neither does Harden. They ain't gonna say shit to back you up. Because they're gonna be looking like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? Like if LeBron ain't paying you no attention, leave him alone. You picking this fight. And you not gonna be the one taking the punches. We gonna be the ones taking the punches. Like, shut your ass up. Go. This is what I said before, though. When I was talking a couple weeks ago, when I said he gets people into a lot of shit that they not signed up for, and then they gotta either co-sign his shit or go against it. And he's starting a fight that he doesn't even know if he can win. They ain't even built to beat the Lakers. So if you are Kyrie Irving, why would you even take on that fight? And I've said this before. You have so many Laker fans. I mean, LeBron, because they're not Nets, man. They LeBron haters. That flip-flopped like it's nothing. First is the Clippers gonna beat the Lakers. Then the Clippers, okay, the Clippers was never good. Oh, okay, so you need to make an excuse for why LeBron ain't better than Jordan after he beat him. I got you. So now the Nets. Nets start losing. Oh, the Nets ain't good. Okay, so you need an excuse to say the Nets ain't good. So basically, if LeBron can beat them, then they're not good. If LeBron loses to them, then he's a flop. So pretty much, there's no good teams in the league until LeBron beats them. I mean, everybody's the best team in the league until LeBron beats them. Then when LeBron beats them, they were never good. Because there's all these people who tout the Nets right now. The minute LeBron beats them, they didn't have no defense. They didn't have no defense. You said that. You said they didn't have no defense. That's who you're dealing with, okay? These people are batshit crazy Jordan fans. Chris Broussard is a Jordan fan. All these people, they want to see LeBron's downfall because they know statistically Michael Jordan already lost that battle. So all they got is the championships. Right? Longevity, LeBron's got him. Basketball IQ, LeBron's got him. All around player, LeBron's got him. Only thing he has is killer instinct, whatever the fuck that means, and 6-0. That's the only legitimate. Well, one of them isn't even legitimate. They have one real legitimate. He's undefeated with 6 finals and 6 finals MVPs, and that shit doesn't hold water. That's not gonna make anybody believe he's the greatest of all time. Because he's 6-0, and his team was better than the Supersonics, the Jazz, and the fucking old ass over the hill Lakers without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Bloody Divac. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not impressed. He's supposed to be 6-0 with them garbage ass teams he was playing. So you look at that's that one claim to fame, that's the one argument. So once you get past that, you realize you're dealing with some mentally frustrated people who are just trying to find a way to make their idol and their hero relevant still. And so they're picking at they're trying to pull down a flaming star with their bare hands, and the shit is burning them every time, and they keep reaching up to grab it. Even though it's out of their reach, they're still close enough to feel the fumes and get burned. Like, dude, just let the shit go. You lost the argument. Because the argument is a very simple argument to have. Nobody is saying you don't have a right to believe Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time. You no longer have a right to legitimately say someone has no case to make LeBron James the greatest of all time. You can no longer say that. And that's why they're pissed. Not because they believe LeBron James is the greatest of all time. They're too crazy to be able to accept that truth. They don't like that other people that they can't argue that it's not legitimate anymore. So they start to delegitimize all the stuff he does so that they can sit up there and make the argument that it's not even legitimate to make the argument, which is fucking crazy. So stop arguing with these people. I came on here to just rehash because this Nets thing is just out of control. It's crazy. These people talk about the Nets like I'm like, did I watch the same game y'all did? Oh, they put the NBA on notice because they beat the Lakers. Undermanned Lakers team. They beat the Suns. It's like, come on, dude. They beat the Suns. They were getting blown out. The Suns took their foot off the gas and they came back by hitting a historic number of threes with just James Harden. Kyrie didn't even play. Okay, so Dan and Tony's system in which you're playing people on short notice and then you throw that small lineup at them in season, it's hard for someone to make adjustments on the fly when they have not prepared for it. Okay, learn basketball. That does not mean the Nets are good. It just means that they have a strategy that works when people don't have time to prepare for it. It is crazy to me that people buy this shit. It's like when people run the option. The option works when people have little time to prepare for it. But when you have a full offseason to prepare for it, it's easier to stop. It's the same thing. When these people have more and more tape on the Nets, they'll be easier to stop. But they don't play together a lot of times, so their philosophy and chemistry is constantly changing, so people don't really know how to prepare for them yet. But once they've played a couple of games and you're in game 40 or 50, you're going to see them start to lose a lot of games because people are going to start to have tape on them and know how to play them and look at other people, the way other people's played them and the way this person played them and how they beat them and how they beat them. But anyway, I just wanted to come in because I think it is just getting utterly out of control with this bullshit narrative that the Nets are putting the league on notice. Are you serious? Because of one shitty game against an undermanned Lakers team and a weird comeback victory? Like, please. Anyways, please comment. Let me know what y'all think. Thumbs it up if you like it. All right, y'all. Oh, yeah, and subscribe. All right, y'all. Peace.